Today's gonna be a bit of a different video. I'm just gonna show you what I'm up to. So I came out here, it's at 12:45 at this point. I got about until 4:45, so 4 hours. Hopefully we can get some good stuff done. So today's project is gonna be on the International. So as you might have seen from the other videos that we've been putting out on the shorts, we've got this big structure going over and down. That's looking pretty good. Got it all bolted in. The welds aren't finalized, but they're just sort of tacked in there for now. Then I put the jack in here because we had to jack the front up a little bit so that we could get our clearance. And then this piece is gonna go from the same as we have on the back here, but there's a mount up front for that. It's over here in the fender, so you can see there, and then that will go up. And then under here, there's a hole, there's a bolt right there. That's the bolt we're gonna connect to, and that one goes straight through that channel that connects to the little framework for the cab. Here is an 1 3/4, 1/8" wall tubing, and then I cut this on it so that it will hook onto the back structure of that, and then it will run across here. So now I'm just gonna go ahead, grab the plasma cutter, and buzz this off. First thing you gotta do for the plasma cutter, come and grab the air. And then we've already got the power over here from doing the welder. I decided I should measure twice, cut once. That all cleaned up. Now in here in this crack, I had folded this down, so I'm gonna weld that and then I can grind it down and make it look like one continuous piece again. And then I will go ahead and put it in there to confirm that we're all good. So there's one. That's looking pretty nice. That one isn't as good, a bit more lumpy, but it'll still grind down to be nice. So there you can see how this piece is gonna sit, and it's gonna run forward up there. All right, check it out. So I ended up coming over here and I put the jack on this side, and then I also put a jack over there, just so that I could level the cab out because the front wasn't high enough. And I knew that, and it also helps putting it higher because of the clearance issues we have there. So what I did all my measuring, and I got my piece up there. I got it squared up on the back part. So now I'm gonna grab the welder, I'm gonna tack it right onto there. So between the upright piece as well as the top piece, put some tacks on there, and then I'll pull that piece out. I'm not gonna weld it to the back yet until everything else is set up, because it will rest there and do the supporting that we need it to do, but that way we can pull it off to weld it fully up and paint it, and then we just have to lift the cab up once to reinstall it, since it won't be able to be installed once it's all welded together. Got the ground clamp on there and the gun right there, so let's just try and give it some tacks. It's a disgusting sound, but hopefully that's on there. So I'll try and pull that off now. I took a bit of a break there, but as you saw, we got it all welded up. So it's looking pretty nice. I actually went ahead and put it back in there and it test fit really well. Really happy with the way it came out. So now I got some marks here because I didn't really have a great way to get the center of the hole, but I've got a few. I'm gonna go off of them, get the center one, and then I'll just take a drill bit, drill it through, because that's where the bolt hole is gonna go to mount up to the cab. So we're here the next day, and I just wanted to show you this finished product of how that turned out. Pretty happy with it, didn't take too long. Now I'm here, I drilled my hole for the bolt, so there's the bolt sitting there. I attempted to weld this in, didn't work, but I'm not really sure how we're gonna do this because it's kind of difficult to get like a wrench or something in there. We're gonna have to figure out a better method for that. But for now, I'm gonna leave this and I'm gonna go under here because the hole that is in the bottom of the cab. So the hole that's in the bottom of the cab here, this should be big enough for the bolt head, but it's not big enough for the socket. So I have to drill it bigger, as well as there, I'm not totally sure what it was, but there's a nut welded onto the bottom of that, probably from the factory. We can't use it anymore because it's rusted out, so I also have to drill that out so that my bolt will now fit through it. Okay, so got the piece here. So I'm gonna chuck the jack in, jack this side up, and then we'll just stick it in and hopefully it'll support the cab. The hole is not there. That took about 5 minutes, but we got it in there. That's looking pretty good. Then we came under here. I put the bolt in there, and then I also, this is gonna be welded, but I just put some vice grips on there, so that's gonna hold that pretty well. I'm liking the gap there. Looking pretty good. I don't know if you can see that too well, but in between there, that'll be nice to weld. So I'm just gonna drop this jack and see what happens. Oh yeah. Awesome. Barely even moved. So look at that. Got it there. That runs back. That will be welded on. Got our bolt in there. Got the bolt up there. Whew. I'm so excited about that. That's great to have that piece done. So I could just replicate it reverse and then put it on the other side. That's awesome. So with the piece on that side done, I have to go ahead and do this side, which I have enough metal for, but I'm not gonna do that right now because I don't need to bore you with all that. So that might be in the next video. It might not be in the next video. We'll see what happens. What fan should we get? There's the question. So this is running a 5.3 with a 4L60E, just on a Chevy 1500 frame. We kept this radiator support because we were gonna use the factory fans, but then it turns out it's too small because we got a radiator from the V6 version because that's what fit in between here and still had the transmission cooler built in, which is what we wanted. So now we have to get an aftermarket fan. And do we have to like build a full shroud? Or can we just slap a fan on there and it would work? And there's two different fans on the 5.3 one. There's one with double the amount of blades. You can see that one has a few. That one has some more. So which blade connector would you hook up a single fan to? If anyone knows, let us know down in the comments because that would be helpful. But other than that, that's going to be the end of this video. So that was just about 3 hours of work. Wasn't too long. Pretty happy with everything that we got done on that. Got to do this other side, obviously. And then pretty much I'll put it all together, and I think I'm going to start by emptying the inside out and mounting the seats. If anyone knows, how would you mount seats? Because they used to just be put into a nut here. Is that safe enough? Or do we need to go like down to the frame or something? Or do we just put a big washer there, or like a plate or something? Not really sure, but if you have advice, let us know down in the comments.